This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to the 21st Hall, where we're about to start the final of the 3 Moria skirmishes, the Battle of the 21st Hall. So first, let's unlock it.
We will make our stand here. Long may we fight against our enemies.
It comes down to this, Pineleaf. If we lose the 21st Hall, we lose Moria. The orcs will strike soon, and the stroke will be hard and fast. We cannot fall here, or we shall not find our footing again. If we must, we will retreat from the forward barricades. Better to lose some ground than lose good dwarves. Once again, this is for a skirmish. So we unlock the final one, the Battle of the 21st Hall. And once again, we're going to do this at level 60. Now, this particular skirmish can be a little bit trickier than the other two, but we'll try it anyway. Let's see how it works.
In the aftermath of the raid upon Zabadgothel, Mazog sets his strength against Durin's folk, assaulting many key encampments. If the 21st Hall falls, then the advantage falls to Mazog's orcs.
Yes. Now, one of the things about this particular series of skirmishes is that originally they were not skirmishes. They were 6-player instances.
Victory is ours this day!
And in fact, people always had trouble finding groups to them and finishing the Moria epic solely due to this particular series of them. Then in an update, about a year after the release of Skirmishes, Turbine decided to accept the advice of the players and converted those 3 instances into skirmishes. It was part of what they did in order to create a soloable version of all of the epic storyline. Now, I'm glad they did this rather than using inspiration, which is their usual way of handling things. But this is one of the things that could be made easily into a skirmish, they felt, so they did so. And that's why you have the flags here, is because the flags were something that were part of the original item. Now these sappers like to blow up the barricades. They aren't necessarily very successful at it unless some other enemies also get through and attack them, but I like to keep them from blowing them up anyway. During the second wave, we get a lieutenant, but we don't get any sappers. Okay, we drop the yellow flag here. Really should have dropped that earlier. Since we know that the flag is going to be easily replaced, since there's another yellow flag that's right next to it. Alright, in fact, I might as well go and grab the other yellow flag so that I'll have it and not forget to pick it up later. There are plenty of flags in this particular skirmish. There are 2 at each of the 3 stations, and there's only a single assault at each of the stations, and they're done in a particular order. So it's very easy to predict what's happening there. And then during the final end, there are even additional ones. So we have plenty of them, so you're not likely to run out. Now this is the 4th wave, and the 4th wave is the one that has both a sapper and a lieutenant in it. So you have sappers in the 1st and 4th, and you have lieutenants in the 2nd and 4th. Now, I usually don't worry about the sapper during the 2nd one, since usually they're all set up by them, but I could take it out anyway. Ah, alright. And in fact, that particular sapper, if you kill the second sapper, it triggers one of the encounters. And this is one where all these swords are here. Now, there is a... Yes, there's a cave troll that comes as a result. That's the encounter boss. And there is a ring around Wheelie's head, so therefore I have time to do this encounter. Alright. Okay, now he says, good, take the orc weapons to the crafting hall. Now I could take the rest of them if I wanted to be ultra neat, but there's no requirement that I do so. Now I take them to the crafting hall, and of course the crafting hall is right where the troll is standing. Now, technically you really don't need to do anything with the crafting hall door, but you do have to kill the troll. And of course he has a silencing that he does. And that's his main thing he does. Boom! Open up new deed for the encounter. So you see the encounter is over just by killing the troll.
Victory is ours this day! Baruch Kazan!
Now for the second assault. Second assault is from the south. Let's put this down here. Now in this particular one, I do really like to save banners for the boss fight. Certainly no question about that, because it's a rather tough boss fight that we've got in this one. So if I can get away with not using any banners when there are no duplicates, then that's what I'll try to do. And of course, as usual, in this skirmish, sapper in the first round. Now, one of the other interesting things about the 3 Moria skirmishes that I haven't mentioned yet is that because they are set in Moria, this means that the enemies that you kill, the trash mobs, they will drop pages, just as they do in the Icy Crevasse. It took me a long time, though, to confirm this because, let's face it, you very rarely have to worry about it. Uh-oh, 4 flags. Yeah, well. Yeah, right. It might have been a good reason to use a... I don't have agreement. As you can see, there are arguments for using them, such as when you get a Reaver and a Troll at the same time. Okay, I guess the Reaver is technically a Troll also. And in fact, well, that used up my Never Surrender charge, but fortunately, it's a lot longer than 10 minutes ago since I last charged it, so I can recharge it again. I wonder if I can get a quick meal here. Oh, boy, got her back just in time. I completely forgot to call her back. There is a good argument for switching into determination stance for this skirmish. I better remember that for the boss fight. Actually, what I better remember to do is do that now. Oh, I'm already in combat, apparently. Alright, that should get the attention of him. Let's not worry about that sapper. I've got enough troubles as it is. This is why I rarely do this one above level. Or why I usually just do this one at tier 1. You could join the fight if you wish. Thank you. Yeah. Very well. Alright, that concludes the second assault. So there probably is some damage to the barrack. No, apparently he took care of the sapper for me, which was nice, because there would be damage to the barricade if the sapper succeeded. Now, that takes care of that. Now, for the next assault, I will have a actually, we'll do that just before they arrive. I know what I wanted to do. Oh yes, let's go into determination stance. Alright, and let's throw in a few extra yellow extra light damage. Yeah, this will probably help a little bit. Good. Now resummon my soldier, since soldier disappears when you do that.
Victory is ours this day! Baruch Kazan!
Now let's head for the west, which is the third. That's west. So yes, orange and purple. I'll pick up the purple one. I will use the orange. And I think we're ready to face them this time. And I'll even throw in a little food. So I think now I'm taking too many precautions, but there you go. Let's take care of this sapper. Yeah. Yeah, you. Alright. That was much better. But of course, next time's one with the lieutenant. And it's when you have the lieutenants in the waves that things can get tough. Oh. One more left. Did he hit the barricade any? Nope. Or very little if he did. Shepherd. Oh well. They usually say what you don't see hurts you. Unfortunately, with the Shepherd of Filth, it's the crawlers you see that hurt you. Because ones behind you are usually within your range of whatever you use to kill it for your AoE, at least with the Warden. If you can see it, it's probably out of your range. It's just the way they go. Now with the banners, which banners are in each of the areas is completely random. And that's why I tend to be cautious about just using them. Because I like to have one of each for the boss fight. One of each for the boss fight. The boss fight goes a lot easier. But as you can see, that it makes things tougher later on. Okay, I think I got him I think I managed to get him there. Right, alright. No second encounter yet. Let me double check on that. Because while the encounter with the swords, you really can't miss the one with the swords. But the next one,
Victory
the others,
is ours this day! Baruch Kazan!
with some of the others, it might be possible to miss them. Now, the last bit, we go to the Chamber of Miserable in order to finish that. Following the pattern that we had in a instance earlier, in a session play earlier, which, okay, I guess they never really did much fighting there in the 21st, but that's where the final retreat was with the expedition that went out before the current one. Alright, let's see. There's a red. We've got an orange that I can use during this next area. Now, we're not to the boss fight yet. No. Okay, I've got a purple there. And a blue there. Alright, so those are the ones I can use. No greens. Ugh. Be nice to have some greens.
Victory is ours this day! Baruch Kazan!
Now the fourth assault gets divided, because here we have the northern hallway, and you have a north end and a south end. So we begin with the south end, which is this way. And we also have a north end along the... I actually remembered to turn that on. Alright. Yeah, we have a north end and a south end. So this is the south end. And it gets chosen randomly, so sometimes you will get the same ones. And sometimes they'll just switch back and forth each of the times. So therefore, if you're going to use banners during this time, hey, the next one's from the north end. Forced March comes in very handy for this case. And of course, hunters have their own little speed buff. And if you're not a warden or a hunter, then it's a little bit tougher. Alright, no lieutenant here, so since there's no lieutenant, I'm not going to bother burning a banner. I could save them for... we have lieutenants. There'll be lieutenants as usual on the second and fourth waves. It's just that the waves aren't coming all from the same direction. Which means I think I might want to be ready to move, just in case it's from the south end. No, it's from the north end, so I can rest this time around. Where is Flax? Oh, Flax. Now, there is a long delay between each of them, mainly because there's a chance that you could have it from the opposite direction, so they wanted to give you a fair chance of being able to get to the opposite direction. Alright, now, okay, 3 straight from this direction. Now, if you knew that they might be there for more than one, if it were easy to predict, then one might more comfortably drop banners during the final assault. But I sort of feel like that if I dropped a, okay, I'm dropping a pair here. This is the last. Oh, that's right, I forgot. I still haven't encountered it. If I had that counter in mind, I probably would have only dropped one of those. But it does sort of make this a lot easier now that I've got the banners giving me a nice bonus. Something like 25%. And there we go. Alright. The two encounters that you can get after this assault are related to the Chamber of Miserable, and you will want to finish the encounter before the boss fight. Not only, of course, to get credit for the deed, since that's always a good reason, but you would also want it. That dwarf? Oh, okay. Well, there I thought a dwarf was going to be waiting there. No, I didn't think that would be a very smart thing to do. Alright. So you have the last two encounters here, but because they're in this chamber and you don't want to accidentally tipping off the encounter in the middle of what can be a tough boss fight. Now this is another case of an elite, because they expect you to do this one during the pause when there's a ring over Willie's head. And since there's a ring over his head, thanks for the nice winter chill. Sister, ooh. He hits hard. That's why it would have been a good idea if I saved one. Because it's like a brick wall. We managed to survive it. And even without clicking on Never Surrender, though it looks like Never Surrender is off a cooldown. Oh, of course, because it has only a 5-minute cooldown in this dance. So even if it's not 10 minutes, it's probably 5 minutes since the time I switched dances. Alright, please. Alright, now comes the final battle.
Victory is ours this day!
The outlook is foul, Pineleaf. This horde seems endless, and we are all that remains here. Prepare yourself, for this may well be our final stand. To arms. Alright, let's drop these like crazy. I got a whole forest of these things. And this is what we are fighting. And you want to keep him from Wheelie. Keep him from Wheelie. Hey, you! Yes, you! Alright, let me get rid of this mortal wound here. And get rid of his corruption. Now I can go around and pound him, which is a lot easier with all these banners that got floating around. Just knock down his defenses, bring up my offenses, you rip through him. But without it, he's a lot tougher. And that's why I saved the banners, despite the fact that it caused that little inconvenience during this second assault. And that is it. The third and final of the Moria skirmishes.
Victory is ours this day! Baruch Kazan!
Well done! I fear, however, that our victory here is short-lived. The orcs seem nearly endless in number. The expedition is doomed to failure, I believe. It will be years before we are strong enough to cleanse these halls. Ah well, this is not the time for fear or grief. You have defended our halls for today. So this is when they realize that, yes, final victory in Moria is not possible at this time. And this, of course, has to be done because, consistent with the lore, the dwarves do not regain Moria until the 4th age. Let us return to the 21st hall. And that concludes this. Now for our next episode, we are going to rerun the Way of Smiths. But we are going to change it. Instead of going up to level 60, we will boost up the tier of it. And in fact, I'm going to bring in my level 95 character, sort of to spice things up. So next time, we'll return to the Way of Smiths for another rendition of that skirmished. Until then, this is Pineleaf Needles. May your shield protect you, and your spear never break.